Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today I have the Rhino, and we're going to be looking at a beer, this beer, that was picked up for me by my buddy Shane. Now, Shane does not do hops. He's big into the Gruits. You don't find many Gruits in Ontario to begin with, and the ones you do find, mostly done by Bose and a few done by other breweries, they have hops in them. Now, why do they have hops in them? Technically, hops are needed in the beers here to be considered a beer. Now, yeah, you could do no hops and say that it's a malt liquor and still sell it at the beer store. But I do not believe a brewery does have a license right off the bat for malt liquor. I do believe, if I remember correctly, that they do have to apply for an addition to their license to make malt liquor. Anyway, long story short, in Ontario, your Gruits have hops, which isn't a real Gruit. Now, in other places of the world, a lot of them still do have hops as well. But there are a few that do not. And Shane searches for those ones. This is the second one he's brought me. No, sorry, this is the fourth one he's brought me. He did bring me two from North Carolina, and he brought me one from Ireland. So this will be the fourth. Now, something I've noticed about real Gruits, they're usually all sour. I don't know if this one will be or not. This one is from the Beer Diviner, or the Beer Diviner, or diviner, however you decide to say it. I'm saying Beer Diviner because to me that's what it would be. It's divine plus an R. This is their ancient Gruit ale. This is 9% alcohol. This is brewed in Cherry Plain, New York. And there's a... yeah. Highest ABV Gruit. Sorry, I have the hiccups right now. And I don't know why. Highest ABV Gruit I think I've ever had, to be honest with you. Next highest is probably the Grandmaster OG from Bose, which did have hops in it. So I'm going to expect that this is sour. I do know that he got this super fresh. It was basically bottled a couple days before he was there, and he gave this to me 2 days ago. So now, there was a pretty good hiss when I opened that, but there doesn't seem to be all that much carbonation going on here. Wow. Wow. Look at that color. First and foremost, anyone that watches the show knows that I love unfiltered beers. Unfiltered beer. Visually, I find this very appealing. I would personally like a little more head, but when I'm thinking about it, I don't think many of the actual true Gruits I've ever had much head, to be honest. This little tiny line around the outside is pretty close to what I'm normally getting, except for the Bose and Railway City Gruits. Cannot see anything through it. Beautiful orangey color. I don't think I've had many beers this color either. Almost looks like a mango juice. Yeah. It's beautiful, or a peach drank. If you go to Tim Hortons, kind of like a peach drank. It's kind of like the peach drank, but a thicker scent. Now, the only thing I know about the Beer Diviner is that they are a farm brewery, and farm breweries in New York State have to have 20% of their ingredients, hops, malts, all that sort of stuff, from New York State. I don't know if there's an actual percentage that have to come from that farm itself, or if it can come from every farm. I don't know. I'm more privy to Ontario laws than New York laws. Yeah, I could look them up. But yeah, I don't. I'm actually really impressed, too, that the ABV... I did, yeah, okay. I was going to say, I'm sure I read the ABV on the bottle. I'm really impressed that the ABV is on the bottle. Because I remember when I used to shop in the U.S., especially in New York, I would talk about hating buying a bottle of beer in the U.S. because I always had to search the ABV because ABV was never there. And I was told by one New York brewer that the New York Liquor Commission didn't really want the ABV on there because they felt that if there was a 9% alcohol beer and a 4% alcohol beer sitting beside each other, everybody was going to automatically grab the 9% alcohol beer. I don't think that's really true. A lot of times somebody might, but I don't think it's... if it's a really good beer at 4% and not such a good beer at 9%, I'm going with the 4% beer myself. I don't know if things have changed. I don't know if it's a choice whether you put it on or not. I don't know enough, and I don't have a passport anymore, so I don't cross the border into the U.S. to know this. Now... I was doing the smell, so let's get back to the smell. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Okay. So, I'm getting this slightly sweet yet slightly clovey scent. I don't know what herbs they are using in this, but I think there's yarrow in there, because I'm getting that almost pungently sweet scent off of it, and like I said, I'm getting that clovey ginger sweetness as well that I normally get from beers that are using grains of paradise. I don't know if yarrow's in here. Ontario Gruits use bog myrtle all the time, but I'm not smelling bog myrtle. I do believe Shane told me wormwood was in this, but I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that black licorice like scent that I usually get from wormwood. Yeah, really, it's just yarrow and grains of paradise that I'm smelling. And those two all openly say I'm smelling. I don't know if bog myrtle's in here. I don't know if wormwood, like I was told, is in here. I don't know what other botanicals they're using at all. I'm not really picking up a malt scent, to be honest. 9% alcohol, and there's not much to the scent. It's kind of scaring me. Let's get into it. Cheers. Okay. That is strange and amazing at the same time. And the thing I love about Shane is that he will search these out, and he finds them. He searches them out and he finds them. And really, of the 4 he's brought me, there was only one I really didn't care for. I really like this. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Carbonation and mouthfeel. Mouthfeel, I'd say light. I'd like to say medium light, but I'm going to say light. Just because it slides down the throat so easily. Carbonation, micro bubbles, like true micro bubbles, just a little bubbling all over the tongue. For any of you that were around, Molson M was released. You know, Molson's microcarbonated, easy drinking lager. When they talked microcarbonation, this is the type of thing I expected, not what I was getting from that. Okay, so mouthfeel, nice. Visual appeal, nice. Scent, a toss-up, because it doesn't have much of a scent for me personally. It doesn't have much of a scent, so a toss-up. So right now, of 3 of the categories, 2 thumbs up and 1 neutral. Taste. Now this is where this gets so interesting. This is an intriguing brew. Very intriguing brew. Very complex brew. I'm actually very, very happy that I got a bottle of this. Thank you very much, Shane. Okay. I taste yarrow. The back end, I don't know what they've used to do this, but the back end almost tastes... the back end has this very, very green and very green and very pungent flavor, as well as a slightly bitter, cloying flavor. Now, the slightly bitter, cloying flavor almost tastes like I picked up an orange or I picked up a grapefruit, and I just bit right into it. Just that oily, piffy bitterness on the back end. Also, just this, and this is something that I get anytime I drink absinthe. So I do believe that there is wormwood in here. I just don't think that it's. I don't think it's. I don't think they used any of the flowers or anything. I think they just used wormwood. And I think one of the reasons why I think black licorice when I think wormwood is because of absinthe from the Artemis. Fuck, I can't even think of the. I don't have any absinthe sitting on the shelf up here. That's all buried down there. It's not even the wormwood that has the black licorice taste in absinthe. It's another component that I always in my mind put the two together, because every time I've had them, they've been together. But anytime I've had absinthe, I get these bitter, weird, tingly sensations right along the backs of each side of my tongue, and I'm getting that in this. It's almost dirty and dirty and woody. Dirty and like you took a tongue depressor and held it down on the back sides of both your tongues. You know that like drying, tannic, woody flavor you get from the tongue depressor? That mixed with dirt. So there's yarrow in there. There's that piffy taste. There's that tongue depressor with dirt taste. Excuse me. I smelled the grains of paradise. I don't really taste them, so now I'm curious if it's actually in there. A little bit of sweetness up at the forefront, but a nice tartness in the middle. We go for not sour, just slightly tart, because you get that jump of. Sorry, my mustache and my nose hairs are touching each other. You get that jump of beautiful, beautiful malty sweetness, and it kind of bangs into the tartness, and that tartness piggybacks into the tannic, woody, dirty flavors, as well as those piffy flavors. So all in all, you're getting what you want out of a beer here. It's 9% alcohol, which makes this a very, very dangerous beer, okay? To quote my good buddy Guy from Beer Guy Reviews up in Ottawa, this is a very, very dangerous beer. This is a beer that you would drink, and you could drink the whole bottle of it, or 2 or 3 bottles of it, and stand up, piss your pants, and fall over drunk, because it's 9% alcohol. But you don't taste any alcohol at all. And with a beer that has such a minimal malt forefront and such an immense lack of hops, because there is no hops, I'm amazed that he can hide 9% alcohol in this. I'm amazed you can hide 9% alcohol in this. I'm intrigued how he did it, and I'm marveled at how he did it, and I'm marveled at the skill of somebody that can hide 9% alcohol in this. This is immensely flavorful, yet subtle. This is immensely complex, yet simple. This is immensely good, yet immensely alcoholic. I mean, it's a Gruit. Gruits, in Ontario, what I'm used to is like lavender, yarrow, bog myrtle, maybe some coriander, maybe some, I don't know, some botterick root. I don't have any bottles sitting around me because I usually keep the bottles of Gruits just to see the different ingredients. But there are like a standard 4 ingredients, and then there's a couple add-ons. This doesn't have the main one, which is bog myrtle, and I know I shouldn't say I know, because a guy that can hide 9% alcohol in something that tastes like 4 might be able to hide bog myrtle under my nose, but I would bet my left nut only because that's the nut that doesn't work, then there's no bog myrtle in this. I really enjoy this. I really do. That is, by far, one of the best Gruits I've ever had, if not the best. The only one I might say I enjoy more than this is the Tyrannosaurus Gruit by Bose, which isn't a real Gruit because it has hops in it. Well, I have read some arguments that some Gruits had hops, so whatever. But that was the Beak Gruit that they did. That's the only one I think I would say I might like more than this, but I don't think I did. Out of 10 on this, I'm going to give this a 9.25 out of 10. I love this beer. I could drink a lot of them and fall over and pee myself, and I'd be okay with that. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Beer Diviner. Bye.